On this week's episode of Whether or Not, we'll be tying the weather to the recent election on Tuesday. Nature in the News will take a look at the drought in the southeast, and we'll have your forecast for the upcoming weekend. Whether or Not starts right now. Hello and welcome to another episode of Whether or Not. I'm your host, Michael Spagnolo.
And I'm your forecaster, Drew Narsutis.
Well, Drew, mild temperatures, at least during the afternoon through last weekend, the first part of this week, definitely been the story. Hit 60 degrees on a few occasions, but definitely been a recent change.
That sure is true. We have had a front come through Friday, and with it, it's going to be bringing some cool but clear conditions to the weekends. The winds won't be too bad, so we won't have that to worry about. So an overall, not a miserable weekend ahead of us.
But definitely going to be more seasonal, at least with a bit of a chill in the air.
Yes, just a little bit of a chill. Other than that, great weekend to be outside.
Well, looking forward to the full details in your forecast, but for now, some nature in the news stories. Multiple tornadoes struck the outskirts of Rome, Italy, and the nearby western shores along the Mediterranean Sea on Sunday. One coastal town in particular, Ladispoli, was hit the hardest. A strong waterspout came on shore and the tornado went right through the city center. Injuries were reported across the area, with unfortunately 2 deaths being reported so far as a result of the tornado outbreak. The Italian Meteorological Organization suggested that the tornadoes would be rated EF2s or EF3s. Tornadoes in Italy are not nearly as common as they are in the United States, but they are definitely not unheard of. And climatologically speaking, most tornadoes do occur in late summer and fall.
Environmentalists in Brazil are feeling the heat as the conservative lawmakers of Brazil try to weaken the country's environmental regulations in order to clear way for rapid development of energy facilities, mines, and agricultural land. Their push comes at a time of not only political turmoil following the impeachment of their former president, but now the economy of Brazil is in a rough place as well. Unfortunately, many see this as a great chance for financial gain at the cost of Brazil's irreplaceable ecosystem. The embattled president has promised to maintain Brazil's environment agenda. However, with many corrupt politicians breathing down his back, the state of Brazil's forests aren't looking good. In the Amazon, more than 6,200 square kilometers of land were cleared for agriculture in 2015, and many expect that that number will increase when the 2016 data is released next week. This deforestation also helps increase Brazil's overall greenhouse gas emissions by 3.5% in 2015, a problem that scientists believe stems from the weakened rules that let many landowners off the hook for blatant violations. A new bill on this subject is scheduled to be released soon, so we can all hope that it does more help than harm to the already ravaged rainforests of Brazil.
The interior parts of the Southeast and Tennessee Valley are continuing to battle drought conditions, with Georgia, Alabama, and Tennessee seeing the worst. Nearly 50% of Georgia is in at least a severe drought, with 14% of the state in the worst exceptional drought conditions. The above-average temperatures through the month of October has only aided to make conditions worse. Birmingham, Alabama has not seen measurable precipitation since September 18th, and there is currently no significant chance of rain in the forecast through the next week at least. Because of the dry conditions, wildfires have been widespread. Through this weekend, a brisk northwest wind will bring in even drier air, and this will combine to raise the fire dangers. Burn bans are currently in place in nearly all drought locations.
Recently, researchers investigating the impact of extreme climatic events on butterfly populations. Their studies show that certain impacts can have significantly positive and negative effects. However, the question remains whether the benefits outweigh the negative effects. While it is well known that changes to the mean climate can affect ecosystems, little is known about the impact of short-term extreme climatic events such as heat waves, heavy rainfalls, or droughts. The research used data from the UK Butterfly Monitoring Scheme to examine the effects of weather data and extreme events on population change. The team found that, in general, extremes of temperature rather than precipitation were found to influence changes in butterfly populations. A novel finding of this study was that during extreme heat, the pupal stages or cocoon stages of life were detrimentally affected by over 1/2 of UK species. This may be due to the extreme heat temperatures acting as a cue for butterflies to come out of their cocoons a little too early. However, the authors also found that some stages of adult life butterflies may actually benefit from this extreme heat. Scientists comment that this is not an unexpected finding, given that butterflies are warm-loving creatures that love to migrate south in the winter for more warmth. In order to better help the butterflies migrate in an appropriate time, a better understanding of these weather phenomenon's impacts on butterflies is needed. As a result, researchers are still at work to better understand the effects of these extreme climatic events on butterflies. A crummy start to our weekend here in central Pennsylvania. Friday, we have this cold front coming through the state that is going to be bringing with it a little bit of rain and possibly a mix of snow and rain up to our north. The good part is that the strong part of the cold front's off to our northeast up here, which is where most of the lift and rain is going to be occurring. Down here in State College, it's going to be a little bit less strong, so there's not going to be as much lift to bring that much rain into the air. So Friday, we could be seeing a slight drizzle here and there, but really not too much rain to talk about on Friday. And thankfully, that brings us into a nice Saturday ahead. We have this high-pressure system off in the middle of the country right now, and this is going to be bringing clear skies to almost the entire eastern United States. Here in State College, very clear day. It is going to be a little bit cold, so a good day to have your jacket out there. However, Sunday, a little bit of a warm-up is coming our way. We have this high-pressure system still located just to the south of us, bringing with it some nice, warm, sunny conditions to State College. So great day to go out there and check out the remaining color that is still in the leaves for central Pennsylvania. How this is going to look for Friday, we have this frontal passage coming through, high of about 51 degrees. This is going to happen before noonish, and the temperatures are going to be plummeting throughout the day. And Friday evening, we could be seeing what we usually see after these fronts pass, a really cold night, 27 degrees, starry night. So there's a little bit of clouds out there, but past those clouds, we'll see a beautiful starry sky. And then Sunday or Saturday, we have 45 degrees, clear and cool outside. Great day to be outside if you have a light jacket on, but nothing more than a light jacket is necessary to enjoy this wonderful Saturday. Saturday night's going to be much like Friday night, so very cool and clear. Sunday, we do have a little bit of a warm-up, about 5 degrees from Saturday into Sunday. Sunny conditions still out there. It's just a great day to go outside. Unfortunately, Sunday night does continue this trend of really low temperatures, 28 degrees out there, mostly clear skies, as all the other nights have been. So give and take, a good weekend ahead of us for the most part. Up next is Anne's feature on voting and how the weather affects it.
Well, it's Election Tuesday here, and I'm right outside Penn State's campus. I'm asking students whether the weather has any effect on their willingness and ability to cast their vote.
No, the weather hasn't affected me. I feel like this election is pretty close, and casting my vote is really important. So whether it had been bad weather, good weather, I would have still came out and voted.
Yeah, I went out to vote today, and the weather didn't affect that. I would still voted if it was bad weather.
Well, this great weather out here today, does that really make voters come out and want to put out their ballot today?
Definitely in a college town like this where there's a lot of foot traffic, it's more motivating if it's not raining and it's not snowing. People can actually walk to where they need to go.
Yeah. So the sunny weather is good. Get out there and vote.
Weather can play a significant role in voting behavior, with bad weather generally suppressing turnout, and research has showed it could have swung a couple of elections.
Does the weather really affect your vote today, going out and doing your civic duty?
No, I mean, I think that since this election is so important to me personally, I think that in any weather situation, I'd be definitely showing up at the polls. You can understand, though, for some people, definitely, you know, if you're not as interested in the election or it doesn't mean as much to you, maybe the weather could have an effect for sure. But for me, definitely going to be out here no matter what.
So if it was torrential downpour or snowing, would you be out here?
I'd be here. I'd be decked out in some rain clothes, winter gear, whatever. I'd be out here for sure.
Does the weather affect your ability and willingness to come out and vote?
Probably yes. But like during this election, no.
No?
It can be a tornado. Now right out here to still vote.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Well, it turns out students would walk those 500 miles to vote, but would others? For decades, social and political scientists have been studying how the weather may affect election results. One of these more recent studies found that foul weather, mainly rain and snow, decreased voter turnout and benefited Republicans. Pleasant and calm are two words that hadn't been used to describe the 2016 presidential election, but they did categorize the weather across much of the country on Election Day, only a couple of scattered showers and storms from Texas to Michigan. As for voter turnout, scientists found that for every inch of rain, voter turnout declined by just under 1%, and that the bad weather dissuaded Democrats the most. An example would be the 2000 election. Studies and recent simulations claim that if Florida had seen drier conditions, Al Gore likely would have carried the state and thus won the presidency.
Yeah, regardless of the weather. Still,
You would have come out?
yeah. It determines our future, so I mean, I'm not gonna skip out because it's raining. So.
Yeah. The dog likes it though, right, too?
Oh, for sure. Bring the dog out, you know, peace and morale out.
It can be a tornado. Now right out here to still vote.
This is certainly an election we will never forget. For Whether or Not, I'm Ann Rodden.
Well, we have a cool weekend ahead of us, but after that, the heat really gets cranked up with our upcoming week. However, this weekend, as I said, cool. Here we are. Front will be coming through Friday, bringing with it a few clouds, but not probably too much rain, maybe a scattered shower here or there. And then the temperatures will be plummeting. 51 is about what it'll be about noon. After that, it will continue to decline up to 27 degrees later on Friday evening. Saturday, the temperatures won't be rebounding too much. 47 degrees out there, a cool, clear day, a good day to be outside as long as you have a jacket. And then Sunday, we see a little bit of a warm-up from Saturday into Sunday, 5 degrees. Better day to be outside than Saturday. These nighttime temperatures Saturday and Sunday evening are going to be cool, but at least the winds associated with them aren't going to be that strong, so we won't be seeing that bad of wind chills out there, which I know we'll be seeing in a month or two. Here's our extended forecast for the week. So very above average week we have for us, mid-50s, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, with clouds accumulating as we go on through there. These clouds are going to help these temperatures increase as we go on through Thursday and Friday. We see a little bit less clouds here, and then Friday, a very clear day, 60 degrees outside, so a wonderful day to be outside. Hopefully this all does come true, and we do have this beautiful, ideal Friday ahead of us. Definitely going to be worth the wait for this weekend, because this weekend, not as good as the upcoming week.
Thank you for that forecast, Drew. Good to see, at least personally, I don't want to see any cold outbreaks into next week, so glad to see the seasonal temperatures continue.
You're right, they are going to be continuing with temperatures at about the mid-50s, which is very seasonable for this time of year. We will see some clouds accumulate as the week progresses. However, little to no rain is going to be associated with that, so not too much of a need for umbrellas this upcoming week.
I'll take it now for getting into the middle of November. Now it's time for our Weather Whiz Quiz question. Earlier in the show, we asked you which location received a record 22 inches of snow on a presidential election day. Was it A, Umiat, Alaska, B, Burgess Junction, Wyoming, C, Buffalo, New York, or D, Burlington, Vermont? If you picked B, you are correct. It was November 3rd, 1992, and the incumbent Herbert Walker Bush was running against Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton ended up winning that election, but during that day, a whopping 22 inches of snow fell from a large snowstorm that impacted parts of Wyoming.
There you go. Well, luckily, no big snowstorms to talk about this week, affecting people with the polls and whatnot. So everybody who wanted to get out there and vote was able to do safely.
Very well. That's all the time we have for this episode of Whether or Not. I'm your host, Michael Spagnolo.
And I'm your forecaster, Drew Narsutis. Have a great weekend, everyone.